to this shit. Alright, so it's something called PCSKI inhibitors, and sometimes shown as PCSK9, are a new type of medicine for lowering cholesterol in the blood. Okay, so but it is used and is the name behind it in medical terms is a Greek, Hebrew, yeah, it's a Greek and Hebrew word tied to the medicine, and it's called Zelta, Zetia, and Zeta. Zetia is the medicine, Zeta or Zota is the name in Greek. Then when you match it with Zayin in Hebrew, it tells you more about it. So the Zeta came to the medicine. The the Zayin is the weapon, which ties back to the Ayin, which is Omi, which ties back to Omicron, being a variant of Delta, which denoted whatever the fuck going on. So, but during a delta is a higher increment of something. Um, delta means radio communications. It means ultraviolet, UV. Well, it means UV, but that's what UV stands for, ultraviolet. It means denoting a change. Okay, so when we're dealing with this X, it's just like the satellites that's going around the sun or around the planet, uh, measuring out the energy, which is time. So as that's going on, uh, the the Zeta drug is something called a Zetabe, and that was discovered in the Ezo tribe in Nigeria. Okay, just like how the tetraoxidant was found in Haiti while they was doing all type of shit. So most of this shit is pretty much it's pretty much a potion. It's not really made to help you. It's pretty much to go along with the spell, and it's just like any potion you will see in fucking cartoons. Sometimes you will drink something and forget who you are, all types of stuff, turn into a whole different animal type shit. So yeah. Oh my god, it's funny as hell. So side effects is cough, headaches, diarrhea, increase aminotransferal, fatigue increase, gamma glutal transferal, increased liver trans aminoaces, reductase inhibitor greater than 3 times upper limit of normal, which is influenza. Okay, so they gotta give it to you. At the end of the day, they talking about a lot of bird flu shit. Then they're mixing it up with the monkeypox. Then they mixing it up with some whole other shit. Like they just throwing hella shit at you, put you in that frequency. Feel me? So the thing is, you do gotta really watch the foods and sweat more. Like get these metals out of you, all types of shit. Like just start eating more things that makes more sense for you to eat. Because when they say they have some medicine like this PCSKI inhibitor for your cholesterol, that shit's not making your cholesterol better. It's really blocking up your sodium channels because the ezetimibe be transferred in a lipoprotein, which can be transferred through a shot, which is tying back down to the xenobot, because the xenobot can be transferred through a lipoprotein through you, which is a animal feces tied to some whole other shit, and they have different ones for the different shots. But the thing is, um, it becomes an uncontrollable substance when it's an animal. So that's dealing with a mutation. because that's what a virus does. It mutates inside the body if it's allowed to. So, getting back to point, I'm just looking at some shit written down my little in my little book. You feel me? I was trying to find this little Jamachia thing, so I might have deleted the video. I don't think I deleted it, unless it was an old one. Um, Omnipiscus, Pisces. Hold on, y'all. Let's see. Oh yeah, we need to go over this cloud shit, cause I know there's newer people out here now. So guess we can go over that. Already kinda just hit a micron. Make split this. Damn, where this shit at? Alright, I guess I could talk about how the Xenobot kinda works. Alright, so as I was saying, the Zetia is a Greek word for medicine, and the match to it is Zayin, and that's in Hebrew. So the medicine is Zayin, and Zayin is the weapon. Ayin is the eye. Um, what ties down to it also? Zeno. Zeno, gift of Zeus, was the acid. Bot is tied to Kron, tying to a autonomous program system being tied to users. Okay, so homolytic fissions is a chemical bond association of a molecular bond by a process where each of the fragments, an atom or a molecule, retain of its original bonded electron. During homolytic fission of neutral molecule with an even number of electrons, two radicals will be generated. That is, two electrons evolve an original bond and distributed between the two fragment species. Alright, so when it said two radicals will be generated, boom, that's talking about the variant itself. So for certain people, it could when it could be dying out when it's trying to evolve. So it's like, say it's trying to evolve, but it's like low key going backwards. So that ties down to the food, because like the food, the drugs, and then these fuck ass clouds that I'm about to get into, that shit is tied to the whole spell of even being on this realm. Like, for real, for real. And if anyone has noticed, yeah, it's been hot. Even that heat wave, it wasn't as cloudy. And even if it got cloudy, boom. Now they've been cloud seeding the fuck out of it. It seemed like it was like a test. Cause it's like they tested, it got cool as hell out of nowhere. Then they started talking, sliding it in, talking about people getting sick from COVID or some shit. And then when that happened, it started getting hot again. But it's really like the 80s when it was just like the hundreds. But the UV index is like 13 and higher type shit. So it's like they're trying to manipulate this shit. But at the same time, because really during winter time, it's supposed to get hotter and shit. That's why it's even able to create the cold. You feel me? Like, I think Florida just got some snow because they fucking with that shit. Like, these solar flares is hitting. You feel me? That's how it's going to generate the fucking snow, just like a machine. You feel me? So, as that happening, the variant is really the DNA sequence. Um, the cell, it's something called cellular subdivision. You feel me? Let me see if I got it. Yeah. Any change in the DNA sequence of a cell variant may be caused by exposure to DNA damaging agents in the environment. Any change caused by mistakes, any change caused by mistakes, anything caused by mistakes during cell division, or they may be caused by exposure to DNA damaging agents in the environment. Variants can be harmful, beneficial, or have no effects. Again, any change caused by mistakes during a cell division, or they may be caused by exposure to the DNA damaging agents in the environment. Variants can be harmful, beneficial, or no effects. And it's kind of like the V kind of in the Mason sign, you feel me? Then it has the A that is really, yeah, it's pretty much like another V, but it's really standing for the angstrom, dealing with the protons and the electrons. You feel me? Yeah, ain't nobody gonna say that because that's like my little own perspective. But how I see it, yeah, that's the angstrom symbol. Just like the angel sign, baseball, it's an angstrom. I feel like that shit kind of ties to like anarchy because that's still the symbol for that shit too. And maybe Captain America. All right, so since we got variant, this ties homolysis ties to the variant. That's what it was talking about. This is what it's talking about, the variant. The energy involved in this process is called bond dissociation energy, BDE. Bond cleavage is also possible by a process called heterolysis, and hetero is something different. You feel me? So when heterolysis, bond dissociation energy is defined as enthalpy per mole required to break a given bond of a specific molecular entity by homolysis, symbolized as capital D. And capital D means um, delta. But the delta symbols is pretty much representing chi as ground energy, the sun energy, UV, and it represents the kundalini with the snake, period. Um, Above and below, it makes Star David, and whatever the above and below for the other one is tied to the U.S. codes. And I'm really want to ask somebody. I don't know if any. I would wonder what Rod Hayes would say. You feel me? Like, be like, bro, you know this symbol, bro. I feel like he had answer to it, and if he didn't, I would still respect it. I know for sure he would have it though. See that nigga. But look, I feel like I know, but see that I don't know, cause I don't really know too much about the other symbol. So that's probably what I need to go into the other symbol for delta because they use it for everything still. Because the capital D is represented as delta as the fourth letter. Okay, so it goes back to their uh their language when they tied this shit to, because you know the medicine dealing with them, they was mostly with the Greek and Hebrew type shit, trying to copy the old type shit. You feel me? So in Latin. So that being said, the bond association energy is dependent on the strength of the bond, which is determined by the factors relating to the stability of the resulting radical species. Because of relatively high energy is required to break bonds in this matter. Because of relatively high energy is required to break bonds, which is why all of these different names of these viruses is branching off of is called delta variants. But the delta is coming from the corona. Do you feel me? Because the corona of the sun is denoting a higher energy. You feel me? It's denoting a higher energy. And when that delta is denoting that is dealing with the I, or micron, and the matrix, the cron, and, or not the time. The matrix deals with cron 2 at the time. It deals with the frequencies just like how the time deals with it here as energy. So that's how it picks it up. It picks it up just like how you pick it up. So it's imitating off of the shit that you already pick up, but now you're starting to see what you're already in because it's starting to break down. Okay? And you can see it break down and glitching like a real video game. And you might think you tripping, but you're not hallucinating. It's just don't get scared of when you're dealing with that shit. Most likely will for a second, but if you like just like just face it type shit, you will start to feel your body to glow, like your aura. Like, yeah, you can see your auras, be seeing how you glowing, but it's a whole different feeling when it's glowing. It's like it's fire that's not burning you type shit. It's like, but it's not like, it's like, I don't know, because it's like, when I was practicing, and I would tell the fire, don't burn me. I am you, you are me. You don't have to fight me. And I would just say simple things like that. And the fire, like that, like you could see like the energy, just with a lighter or something, and it wouldn't burn me. And it would come closer and closer. It wouldn't burn me, and it would just like cool it with. I know I was definitely on my fast, but I did that shit like that just became a regular thing. So it was like, nigga, it's going to burn. Like you could play with it all you want. Like you literally sit that shit right there and it's not burning. Relatively high energy required to break bonds in this matter. Homolysis O bond and dibenzoyl peroxide and is cleaved attached to your carbon the damaging, beneficial, damaging, or and just see if it be right. Or just see one was that they turn into cannibal sodomites or or nothing changed when they put all these extra hormones in different animals, which just become effects that is causing to another person that is not supposed to. Really, I don't think anyone living is supposed to be. And that's like, that shit just like, I feel like a motherfucking prefix. Tetra and but it's like century and all that. That's when of the 1, 2, 3, which is the fourth. That's when of the 1, 2, 3, which is the fourth. And 8, 9. We're in the seventh cycle, and the six is settled. Della effect happen. Della effect happen. Just an input and output when it's dealing with threes dealing with self. Input and output when it's dealing with threes dealing with self. Nothing data like interfere with it. So it's like we in the 7 more months. Boom. It's time to fucking explode, get the spin. Gonna break down, bro. Trying to be, trying to be normal, but sometimes it says now things is because 2020 to 2023 that was representing that timeline. Nine. Now as it came loop. Now as it came loop, then you just gonna have the low operate. It's better to be the easiest thing to do, but it's not only person, but you what to do type shit. So I'm made in this motherfucking game. You care to listen. A lot of people have um it's a lot of that going on right now. Not to scare anybody, but that comes from the shot, nigga. You need to be fasting weekly, 360 days if you can. Yeah. Where was that? Boom. Yeah, that's neoplastic cells resembling embryonic duplicate. Because I'll tell you the same thing I just told you pretty much. And it's weird. Uh, proteins already, uh, proteins already spiking up your health. There's radiation, germ, so but the whole, which is anchored with graphene oxide, epoxy coatings. That's what it is. But properties of composite of epoxy resins. Epoxy. A lot of things. A lot of things is going